Welcome to the Foundations of Fitness podcast, where we can help you build foundations to a stronger and healthier you.
Hello everyone and welcome back for our third podcast. Firstly, I'd like to say a huge thank you to anyone who's taken the time to leave a review or download any of our shows. It's greatly appreciated. Today's guest, we have SPFL referee John Beaton. We discuss how his journey first started out, how he deals with high pressure situations and the sacrifices he's had to make to get to where he is today. I took a lot away from this and I think it gives you a great insight of how difficult a job these guys have to referee some of the best games in Scottish football. Hi John, first of all thanks for going on the show. Tell me a wee bit about yourself and where you first started out.
Well, I started refereeing back in 1997, so I was only 15 at the time. I was playing a wee bit of football, kind of boys club stuff, and my cousin was a referee. He refereed in kind of amateur and junior level, and used to kind of go and watch him at the games, and he suggested that I was well trying it myself, taking it up. So I did that. I went to the course, and as I say, September '97 I passed, and at the time I was going to, and I was refereeing kind of under 12s, under 13s, 14s, up to 15s for the first sort of year, Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, and it was a good wee bit of extra money. It was a good way to kind of keep yourself fit, and I still loved obviously playing football, but I took to refereeing right away. I just liked everything about it. I liked being in the middle of the games. I liked that, and I liked the group as well. And it's pretty much like a football team. You've got other referees, obviously. You're training with them and socialising with them. So I really took to it straight away. As I say, here we are. That's 21 years now.
Down the line, better referee than you were a footballer, or the other way about?
I don't know. Some of the fans might disagree either way, but I was never. I mean, I enjoyed playing football, and I'm sure I would still be playing amateur level if I hadn't started refereeing. But I was never ever going to reach the level that I've reached as a referee, as a footballer. And I realised that. I kept it going through university. I went to Edinburgh and I studied journalism for 4 years, and kind of towards the end of that, as I kind of was 21 when I left, I kind of realised that if I just kind of got myself fit, got myself into good shape, and kept my head down and worked hard, that I knew I had a chance. Because as I say, I really took to refereeing. I felt comfortable. Sometimes when I used to play football, I was a wee bit apprehensive, going out to kind of play with the school and maybe had a big game and stuff like that, and used to get nervous. But I never really found that with refereeing. It felt quite natural. So I knew that if I worked hard, I got myself fit, then I had a chance.
When did you start to realise that this could be something that you would really like to do and take it a wee bit far? When did that first kind of click for you?
I suppose it's around about the time when I really started taking the fitness serious as well, because with the best will in the world, I wasn't as fit as I needed to be. And when I got promoted through the levels, when I became a Category 3 referee, which let me be assistant referee at the likes of your Division 2 in Scotland, I wasn't in good condition. I was carrying too much weight. I wasn't training as much as I should have been. I was still young, so I was going out with my mates at the weekend, and I was drinking, and also back then, the gym culture as it is now, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
When I first started refereeing, you couldn't have found a gym. It just wasn't the thing. And when I was kind of 15, 16, 17, it wasn't like it is now, where you can't really escape the whole kind of gym thing, and everybody's into fitness. But it was only when I got to maybe about kind of sort of 23, 24, where I really kind of get gripped to the whole fitness thing, and I really started to get myself into shape, and I lost a lot of weight. My 2 years as a Category 3, I got promoted to Category 2, which was kind of put me as one of the top referees in junior football. And it was around about then, sort of 2008, where I thought I've got a real chance here, and I was doing well, and I was pushing on, and I refereed the Junior Cup final in 2009, which is a big appointment at that level. And that was my last game in junior football before I got promoted to Category 1. So around about that time, I knew that I knew I had a real chance.
And that's something I've always admired about you, John, is just your kind of work ethic towards fitness and that now. It must be really difficult for you. You're obviously working on a full-time job, a family, and you've got to try and be as fit as professional athletes who are training sometimes twice a day. How do you get yourself? What's your schedule like for training-wise?
Well, it's changed so many times over the years. I used to train late at night, and then I was training in the morning, and I've really just kind of mixed it up. But you start to get to know your own body, don't you? And you adapt as you get older. But around about that time when I said to you I started to take it serious, that's when I first came over to the gym and I started training with Alan. And I kind of changed the way I was training, and my schedule got different, and I ran less, and I was more focused on weights and conditioning and stuff that you kind of take for granted now.
Yeah.
But back then, when I was kind of breaking in, our fitness test was like a 12-minute run. I mean, you just ran laps of the track, and your training because of that was just running. I mean, you would never have lifted a weight or did anything else. You were fit and you were in decent condition, but it's not the way it is now. And so when I came to Alan, and then obviously latterly yourself as well, it totally changed the way I train. So now my current schedule, as you see, I'm back on full-time work, and I train five mornings. So I go to CrossFit in Glasgow, and I do CrossFit training 5 days a week, 7:15 start, and get that done before my working day starts. And then I chuck in 2 nights as well. So I do a Monday night and I do a Thursday night, and that's mainly kind of cardio stuff and a wee bit of sprint training. And then invariably I'll do something on a Sunday as well after my game. So I'm training I'm probably putting in 8 sessions a week, and then my game on a Saturday. So it's hard work.
It's a lot to juggle in, especially around a family and so on. So obviously kind of tells how passionate you're about refereeing, or you certainly wouldn't be going to this extent to be making sure you're fit enough as half of these professional athletes on the park.
I don't know. I think it's a bit of both, isn't it? I think I've got the kind of fitness bug as well, and I pretty much like yourself. I mean, it's just kind of part of your life, and probably over the last sort of 4 years, 5 years, then fitness is just something that you do. It's a part of the routine and
part of the lifestyle.
If I go a day without training, for example, today I've not trained today because I trained pretty hard on the weekend, and I thought I needed a wee rest, and I'm sitting thinking, really want to train, and you need to force yourself to take a rest and have rest days and have recovery days. So I think it's, as much as it's a passion for refereeing, it's a passion for fitness as well. And I'm 36 now. I'll be 37 next month, and that's a kind of age where most of the players are retiring and they're already gone. Whereas for me, I'm probably still get quite a bit of time left at the top level of the game, and it's getting faster, and the players are getting fitter, and the speed of the game is just infinitely quicker than it's ever been. So you need to do yourself justice. And I always kind of thought to myself when I was coming through that I didn't want fitness to be the thing that I failed on. I didn't want to. Sorry, you're going to make a mistake, but there's no excuse for not being fit enough. So I suppose that's where I found myself. That
made that a wee bit more of a priority for yourself.
Aye, absolutely. I'm just desperate not to let myself down with fitness and getting about the park and stuff like that. And I think that's the one controllable. You can go out, you can make yourself as fit as you can possibly be, and then when you go in the park, you don't need to worry about that. You just need to go and get about your business and get the decisions right.
It's in the back of your mind, which then leads me on to my next topic. What's your nutrition like?
It's good. Periods have been really good, and periods are not so good. But again, you're living life, aren't you? And as much as I'm committed to fitness and I'm committed to refereeing, I'm committed to kind of family life and enjoying myself as well. So my kind of way I look at my week is that I try and be absolutely flawless Monday to Friday, and then that allows me. And on a Saturday I'm preparing for a game anyway, and then a Saturday night I have a wee takeaway and sort of relax it on a Sunday. But I just probably get into a routine of just doing the same things. I eat the same things at the same time every day, and I just kind of keep track of things. And when I came to train with you, we worked a lot, as you know, on nutrition, and we really kind of looked at diet, and I get rid of some bad habits, and all the things that I did with you kind of 3 years down the line now I still do, and I don't need to use the app anymore, because I'm probably much like yourself. You kind of know what you're eating now, and you know what the calories are, and you know your macros, so you're just kind of going through the motions. But it's just years and years of experience in knowing your body and knowing what works and knowing what doesn't work. So
Yeah, it's good to know that you're still using that, John. A few years down the line, it's obviously made impacts to you.
I made big changes at the time, as you know, that when I came to you in 2015, it was just before the European Championships in France. I had a very specific goal, and I was looking to reduce body fat and get a bit of weight off and stuff like that, and it worked, and what we did worked. So whenever I'm needing a wee boost and I know I need a wee kind of 3-4 week hit at it, then that's the kind of principles I follow, and I always do the same thing every day. I'm very aware of proteins. I'm very aware of things that don't agree with me, and I just, like you say, you get to know your body. It's as much as fitness, you get to know your body, what you can cope with on a day-to-day basis, training load. It's the same in nutrition, and you know what works for you.
Aye, it's something I always try and stress to people, is just learning you. Do you know what I mean? What works for one person will not necessarily always work for the other. Sometimes I can imagine if you're eating pre-match meals and so on, you'll know what works for you and you'll know what doesn't work for you.
Aye, definitely, and I think over the years you try different things, and then a Saturday morning before my game, I have the toast and beans and scrambled egg just every single time, and
sets you up for that game day.
Aye, that's just what I have, and I don't really deviate for that very much. I don't eat a lot of pasta. I found that was something that it just didn't really make me feel that good. Pasta. I know that. You need to get carbs in you and stuff like that, particularly before a game, but it's just one of these things that's not for me, so I don't really eat pasta at all. But again, that's just through learning your body and learning what works for you and what makes you feel good before a game and stuff like that. So there's loads of things like that I've cut out because it's just not for me, but it will be for other people.
So you're telling me scrambled eggs, toast and beans makes you good enough to be an SPL referee then?
Well, that's it. I don't know. As I say, loads of people disagree whether I'm any good or no, but that's definitely the meal for me.
Brilliant. Brings me on to the next one. Any pre-game rituals or anything like that? I knew a few players who can maybe like to do certain things a certain way with, but yourself?
Nah, I don't do anything special. I don't change my routine for big games or anything like that, and I just kind of, it's very relaxed. I just try to have a laugh with the guys and don't really think too much about the game until it's time to go. We listen to some music, get a wee bit of GBX on, and just chill out before the game. And I've not got any kind of proper routines, but the one thing I always do is that I always leave the dressing room last. So all the guys know now that I'm on with that it's just a wee thing, and it's funny because people say, have you got any rituals, and for years and years I said I never, and then I actually realised that I was doing that without really knowing it was a routine that I was doing. So but that's the only thing that I can think that I would do every game, is I always like to leave last.
They tried to ruin that with staying in that wee bit longer.
Oh, they always do.
I knew that.
And because the fourth officials are always messing about and they're picking up the ball and getting the sub board and all that. But no, I always leave it to last and get myself out last. And as I say, I don't know what will happen if I don't do that, but I'm not going to find out because I'm going to keep it going.
Going to make sure you're there. So next one is, you've obviously got a difficult job being a referee. You're in high pressure situations. How do you deal with that kind of high pressure?
Again, it's just experience. You move through different levels and you get big games, and I can remember big junior games with like 1,500 people there, and you were a wee bit nervous before the game, but then you start to get used to that, and in actual fact it gets to the stage where it's easier to perform when it's a massive game and there's a huge crowd than it is when it's maybe a wee bit low key. It's maybe a championship game, there's maybe only 1,500, 2,000 people there, and it's not the same. Whereas you go to Hampden Park, I did the semi-final Aberdeen Rangers a few weeks ago, and it was a full stadium, and it was an unbelievable atmosphere. And last week I was in Eintracht Frankfurt in Marseille in the Europa League, and again it was 48,000 and capacity stadium, and that's when it's easy to perform. For me it is. It might not be for other people, but as I say, it's something I just felt quite comfortable with refereeing right from the start, and that's one of the big things, that the bigger the game, the more comfortable I feel. I love being in the middle of it. I love the big crowds. I love the pressure, and that's probably where I do my best. And in the big games, touch wood, I've always done pretty well. I've done the League Cup final and it went well. I've done 3 or 4 Scottish Cup semi-finals and had the League Cup semi-final there, and the European games have gone well. So I think I think it's probably you get it with players as well, don't you? That some players thrive in the bigger games, and that's when they do their best. And I feel that's definitely the case for me, and I just feel quite comfortable in it. And I don't know why that is. I suppose sometimes you find what you're meant to do in life, and I think refereeing is definitely the thing for me.
One you've found. What kind of attendance is in these kind of games, John? You're refereeing.
Aye, well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, obviously in Scotland, in Celtic Park, you've got 60,000, and Ibrox 50, and Hampden the same. But I mean, I've been to the new camp in the Bernabeu with 80,000, and I've done games in Saudi Arabia with 68,000 capacity, and been to really kind of volatile places like Turkey with just incredible atmospheres and flares going off the whole game. But I have to say, I mean, when you blow the whistle to start the game, you're very aware of the crowd, but it's just a bit of grass and 22 players, and ultimately when the game starts and you're in the middle, that's all you really focus on.
That's a good way of putting it when you put it like that. Also, it's a hard job. You're going to make wrong decisions. Do you know what I mean? You're only one person. Well, tell a lie. You've got people who are linesmen there now, and you've got stuff like VAR coming into it. How do you come back from making a wrong decision in the game? Do you just go on with it? Do you brush it off? What do you do?
Okay, it's no easy. It isn't easy when you make a decision that you sort of look back on and you can't really understand how you got it so badly wrong. I mean, it's different if you're maybe sitting watching sports, you're on a live game and you see a replay and you need to watch it 3 or 4 times before you actually know one way or the other what it is. Then it's a wee bit easier to accept that. But when you make the errors that people just can't understand, and you can understand it because when you're on the pitch, everything happens so quickly, and when you're refereeing with confidence, you usually process things pretty quickly and you get them right. But sometimes when you're not on a good run, you just see things a wee bit differently, and you maybe just don't read the game properly, you don't get the reaction, and you're just a wee bit out of touch, and that's sometimes when the kind of bad errors can happen, and it's not a nice place to be. It's a lonely place to be out in the park, and particularly when you do a decision and you know immediately that it's wrong, and that happens when you blow the whistle. You know by the reaction of the players, and you know yourself in your gut that you've made an error.
Do you pick up on like body language, or how do you usually know?
You can just tell natural reactions for players. They're always going to complain, and they're always going to protest, but there's just a natural reaction that you can tell the difference. I remember refereeing a Hearts Celtic match a couple of seasons ago, and I gave a penalty to Hearts. Jamie Walker was, I thought, fouled by Kieran Tierney, but there was a dive, and as soon as I blew the whistle, I just knew that I'd made a mistake. I could see the way Tierney reacted, I could see the way Scott Brown reacted, and I just thought, I've got this wrong. But at the same time, you can't just change your mind on a whim because nobody's giving you other information. So it's a very, very dangerous thing to do and go, well, I know I've got it wrong, so I'm going to change it. Because if you do that and you were right, then you're finished. I mean, there's no getting back to that. So it's hard, it really is hard. But I think with experience, you build up experience over the years, and it gets a wee bit easier, and you make fewer mistakes as well. You tend, certainly this season, I've had a good season this season, and last season probably restricted it to a couple and maybe 2 or 3. So you make fewer, and you also just get better at dealing with it. But it can take a Saturday night and a Sunday being a wee bit miserable before you back to it on the Monday. And
how much help are you getting from? Obviously, you can see the referees now have got their mics, their earpieces in. What kind of help are you getting on the park?
We're obviously getting massive help. But there's 4 days in a normal Premier League match in Scotland, so the guys are contributing. We're talking to each other all the way through the game. When we get into Europe, we've got an extra 2, so I've got 6. We've 6 days in the team. I've got 5 guys help me. Everybody's chipping in. We've got goal line technology helping us over there as well. So there's loads. I mean, we need more, but the video referee trials are kind of taking place over Europe, and they've been introduced in quite a lot of countries. They'll be coming in the Champions League after Christmas. So,
what do you think of this? Are you a fan of it, or do you disagree?
Anything that can help us get the right decision. I'm telling you that I'm sitting on a Saturday night and a Sunday not feeling great about a game, so if something can stop me from being in that position, then I'll take it. And
you'll definitely take
coming.
it.
It's definitely coming. I think in Scotland, the kind of thing that they'll be looking just now is how they finance it and get it introduced, and then resourcing it as well with the amount of referees you would need. So it will definitely come in. I would like to think sooner rather than later. I doubt it'll make it for the coming season, but it's definitely coming to Scotland, and it'll be massive. It's going to be a huge step forward for us to be able to watch the incident back in real time and make the right call. And as I say, that's when you cut out the really bad errors that nobody wants to see, because it's no good for the game.
Moving on to the next one, what's your hardest decision you've ever had to make?
I'll tell you, it's no football on the pitch decision. The hardest decision I've ever made in refereeing was quitting my job to go to the European Championships.
I remember this. I remember this story very well.
So you know the position I was in. So I was having real difficulty getting time off work. I was away. I mean, I was away a lot. In fairness to my work, I was away sort of 45 days leave just for football a year. I did that for a couple of years, and I got a chance to go to the European Championships as an additional assistant to Willie Collum. We were going out there a team of 5, and it was just too good an opportunity to pass up. I tried to get some arrangements with the work to get some time off, because I was probably looking at sort of 3 or 4 weeks in the summer and a course in the lead up to it. And ultimately I got to the stage where they couldn't accommodate it, and I had a decision to make, and I decided, and at that point, that I couldn't let it pass me by, and I decided that I would quit my job, which was a good full-time job, good pension, and it was a massive decision to give it up, and it's worked out. I mean, it's really worked out.
A few sleepless nights up before that.
No half, but I went to France, had a brilliant tournament. It went really well for us as a team, and a great experience out there, and I came back, and probably for sort of 2 years, that kind of up until about 4 months ago, I was pretty much full time. I had a wee bit of contract work here or there, but I sort of gave myself a run at it as full time in refereeing, and I got myself promoted in UEFA to Category 1, which is the second top category that allows me to referee Europa League games myself. So I've now refereed maybe kind of 8 or 9 Europa League group games, and only because I took a chance and I gave myself 2 years really pushing hard on it, prioritising refereeing, doing as many European games as I could, getting myself into good condition. As I say, now I'm back in full-time work, and that's been sort of 4 months now, so the schedule's changed a wee bit, but that was a huge decision, and it could have really went the other way, but I think sometimes you just got to back yourself, and I did.
If that doesn't show your passion for refereeing, I don't know what will, because I can always remember your wife Laura, the conversation she was having as well about you having in your job and so on. If that doesn't show your passion, I don't know what will, personally.
Well, like I say, you've just got to take a chance, and it's not often that you get a chance. I'm very, very lucky to be doing this. It's something that I love doing. I don't really see it as a job, so much like footballers, that it's such a fortunate position to be in, and to go and do something you actually like doing for a living for a while. As I say, it was a wee bit of a gamble, but I always kind of knew that if I just kept working hard and I kept performing at the level that I knew I could perform at, then I would be okay. And I knew that I'd be able to get back in. My kind of job is obviously sort of media relations and communications, and I knew there'd be an opportunity to come back. And as I say, it's worked out really, really well. And I'm 26 now. It's 36 now. As I say, I'll be 37 next month, so it isn't going to last forever. So things have really worked out well.
It's certainly paid off, and I bet you're glad you've done it.
Oh, definitely wouldn't change it.
Moving on to brighter points, what's been some of the highlights of your career?
I think just being to some of these stadiums that I've told you, I've been really, really lucky refereeing Rangers and Celtic matches in Scotland, and I've done a League Cup final. I've been to Hampden loads of times, and but just getting to see parts of Europe, parts of the world that I would never have probably visited. I've been to places like Serbia and Croatia, Turkey, and sort of places that no family destination, holiday destinations or anything like that. So you get to go and see a wee bit of kind of something different, and I've been really lucky. I've been to Barcelona twice. I've 2 games in a Nou Camp. I've shared a pitch with Messi, Ronaldo, Gareth Bale. I mean, these are things that it's funny because you don't really retain a lot of the memories. You only really remember the last game. But I'm sure when it's time to finish and I look back on it, those are some of the things that I'll enjoy telling my wee boy about. That some of the places I managed to get to and some of the big games I was involved in.
Great experiences. So now, in your opinion, you've spoke about the stadiums you've played in. In your opinion, who's the best player you've shared the park with?
I think it's going to be Messi, isn't it? I've done 2 Barcelona games, and to see him close up, I was additional assistant twice, so I'm obviously he's in the penalty area a lot, and just seeing him at pitch level, and I always remember Gareth Bale as well. The athleticism of him, just the speed that he moved with the ball, and the kind of physical presence that he had on the park, and it's a different level altogether. And I mean, as I say, I'm very, very, very fortunate to have seen these guys close up. Most people are only getting to see them in the telly, and as I say, I've managed to get there and be on the same pitch as them. So it's easy to say Messi into it. I mean, everybody would see him as probably the best player in the world anyway. So I've been lucky enough to see him close up.
What do you think makes, say, players totally different from, say, Scottish players at the moment? Are they more talented, or are they working harder than most Scottish footballers?
I don't know. I mean, obviously everybody's born with different levels of talent and ability, aren't they? But certainly I think that the Scottish game's getting better. I think you can see now that players are looking after themselves. I think everybody's in great condition, and the referee's going the same way. But I think Europe was probably a wee bit ahead of us with that. I think they probably took it a bit more serious. I think they train differently, and certainly it's always a thing that you kind of seen with the national team, that we always seem to be weird. We always seem to be kind of a wee bit weird and a wee bit slower than everybody else. And I mean, I refereed Belgium in a World Cup qualifier, and my God, those guys are just animals. And the physical presence that they have, the speed that they move, the power that they've got, is just completely different. And I suppose that's just physique and makeup into it, and you can not really much you can do about that. But they're obviously as committed. I've talked about my commitment levels, but they're elite athletes, and they're working very hard to get to that level as well.
How long can you see yourself sustaining refereeing for?
I don't really know. I suppose it's as long as I'm still enjoying it, then I'll keep doing it, keep going with it. But fitness wise, I'm as fit as I've ever been. I would say in the last, I think I've probably been progressively fitter in the last sort of 3 years, and I think I'm at a level now that I've never been near. I think I'm getting a wee bit smarter with my training. I'm no running and putting a lot of impact on my legs as much as I used to. I would probably be doing 3 or 4 high intensity sessions a week back 4 years ago, which was madness. But I'm getting a wee bit smarter with my training, and as I say, I feel fit. I'm injury free, so I don't know. I think once you get to probably 40, which is a few years away, we'll see how I feel then, and I'll just keep working on. But as long as I can pass the fitness tests, and as long as I've still got the motivation to be getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go training, then I'll just keep doing it. Ultimately, somebody might decide for me that it's time to go if I go on a bit of a bad run and make some bad decisions. But certainly for a fitness and kind of motivational point of view, as long as I'm enjoying it and as long as I can keep up with it, then I'm just going to keep going.
Brilliant, good. John, I think we've wrapped up everything there. Listen, thank you very much for coming on the show. I think you've gave myself and everybody else an insight of what it obviously takes to become an SPL referee, and obviously the standard you've done. So a big thank you for coming on.
Cheers, mate. No hassle.
Cheers, John.
Thank you for listening to the Foundations of Fitness podcast.